1 year ago, I handed in my notice to leave my job in Germany to move to Sweden at the end of last year without a clue how to make a living here. It's been 6 months since I made this big shift in my life, and what now?
Okay, so maybe a little bit of background. So I worked a normal corporate job in marketing and especially the area of events. And I think all of you that maybe work in marketing themselves know how stressful this job can be and how there's very often very little appreciation for all the things that we do. In companies, and there's just this mentality around give me more, or thank you, what else can you give me, at least in my experience. And I was just constantly stressed and full of anxiety with never-ending to-do lists. And at some point I could also really feel all the impact on this on my physical health. Like, I usually never get sick, and during that time I was just constantly struggling with health issues. I would have constant headaches or migraine attacks and like issues with my arm that it got numb and I couldn't properly use it anymore. And also when I was done working at the end of the day at like 6 p.m, I just had no energy left for anything, and I didn't even feel like doing any of my hobbies. You know, when you wake up in the morning and like your head and your heart are already racing because you think of all the things that you will need to do that day and like all the meetings you have and all the projects you need to finish. And at some point I just realized something needs to change. This can't be how I live my life. And it was all very scary. Like, I really liked my colleagues, they were all super nice. And I think also once you've reached a certain financial stability in your life, it is very hard to let go of that and exchange this for a life where you don't know when the next amount of money is gonna enter your bank account. And I know some of you will probably think that it's very naive and maybe even stupid to give up a job in such uncertain times without having anything new lined up. But honestly, at some point I told myself, okay, I can continue to do things the way they are now and continue to have health issues and probably be on my best way to a burnout, or I just jump into the cold water, change things and do something. And then the decision to quit was actually made pretty quickly for me. So in the end of December I stopped working, and that was also at that time that I made my move up here to Sweden to fully live here. So in the beginning I told myself that during the first 2 months I will just, give myself some time to like settle in, get all the organizational immigration stuff done, and just have some time to rest and figure out what I actually wanted to do. So I had a couple of ideas that I wanted to explore, but I basically just wanted to see what unfolds. So now we're in July, and to be honest, I had planned to do this video for a while already, hoping to give you like a big update about what I'm doing now. But to be fair, I really thought that by now I have things figured out perfectly and know exactly what I want to do. But spoiler, that is not the case. So I explored a number of different options, kind of ranging from starting my own business into doing a new apprenticeship within elderly care. I even looked back into corporate jobs, but I pretty quickly realized that that is going to be my absolute last option, and I really prefer not to go back to that, at least not at this stage of my life. So now I have come up with the following, and you will see that I have put my eggs in a couple of different baskets just to see what maybe works out and what doesn't. Okay, so first off we have content creation. And this one is probably the most obvious one for me, and also the dream where I'm hoping that maybe one day it can sustain me. So I have been active on basically all the platforms, especially here on YouTube, where I'm making a little bit of money now through AdSense, but not really, like not a lot that it could sustain me. And then also over on TikTok and Instagram, but that doesn't really pay anything, at least not for the moment. But content creation is also the part that I actually enjoy the most, and it would be such a dream if this one day could, help support me. But I'm thinking, even if it supports me to pay the bills in a small way, that's already extremely helpful. But I also know that I cannot rely on this. So I've also started to offer my services to brands to create photos and videos for them to use on their own social media or websites. So if they are in need of new content, but they don't have the time to create all of this themselves, that's basically where, I come in. So this could, for instance, be either through product photography or short films, but in most cases, it is basically to show how a certain product or service is being used by real people and how they integrate it into their daily lives, or how they find the solution to a certain problem that they're having through this certain product or service. The next thing is that in August I will actually be starting a course in herbal medicine and like medical plants that is gonna go and last 1 year. And I'm super happy that I got into it. I found this course maybe like 2 years ago, and I thought it was super interesting, and this is really like a topic that I also have a lot of like personal interest in, and I would love to do like expand my knowledge in that area. So super happy that this worked out. And when studying here, you can also apply for like a small financial contribution. It is not a lot, but any contribution helps to pay the bills. So yeah. And perhaps also once I'm finished, I could explore the option of like offering some workshops or retreats around plant medicine, how to make your own, etc. So we will see down the line, but this would be something for the future. And then my partner and I are also exploring the option of creating a small business together. We are pretty much still in the very early beginning stages. So we're just looking into different options, etc. And we're also both very much aware that when creating a new business, this always takes time to take off and to see results. So I think we both know not to expect something too quick out of there. But I think we just need to put in the effort and see if we get something in return and if it's worth continuing. But I would say this would be the dream, to just be our own bosses and have the flexibility that comes with it. The good thing is also that our like monthly running living costs are not that high, and we are 2 people that can share the bills. So we do have a little bit of flexibility there, but we definitely need to see something come in soon. But yes, overall, in the case that really nothing happens to work out, I can always look for a temporary job somewhere and maybe look for something in the hospitality area. That's also where I've worked before. So I think there are always options if you just need something temporarily or as a part-time job. So I'm not too concerned about this. Yeah, so maybe this wasn't the exciting, insightful update that you were hoping for. And I honestly thought that by now I have a lot more things figured out in my life. But my head, I have so many ideas and they are all like floating around in my head for like different projects and things that I could be doing. I just need to connect the pieces, if that makes sense, and find the right way to do it. But I am optimistic that it will be working out. I am already seeing things slowly starting to move on all ends, so I know it will work out. It's just a matter of when. But yeah, I am optimistic that everything will be fine.